Strowman Express coming through. Of course, this week on Friday Night SmackDown, Braun Strowman challenged his former Wyatt family leader Bray Wyatt to a match at the Swamp. A swamp match, and of course WWE have since confirmed that match is taking place. On a tweet, they tweeted out simply saying that the horror show at WWE Extreme Rules will become even more terrifying when Universal Champion Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt meet in a non-title Wyatt Swamp fight. Obviously, we know that last week cult leader Bray returned during the end of the Firefly Funhouse, shocked the absolute world, and this is such a cool idea. Go back to the roots of the Wyatt family, to the swamp where they met. We got that really cool story from Braun, but we know, it's been rumoured now and reported on for a few days, that people have learned the plan is to have various spots and storytelling, telling of the past to present. They want to go back to what made the Boneyard match special, but in a Bray Wyatt kind of way. Wyatt is said to be heavily involved in creating this match, along with Jeremy Borash. Triple H will be involved as well when it comes time to film, along with a few others. They are trying to keep this shoot close to the vest. I think they mean close to the chest, because that means a secret. That makes a whole lot more sense than a vest. Now, when you think you've got the Everglades in Florida. Now, this is definitely one of the most famous swamps in the entire world. There's other swamps as well. But just look at this set. Look at the trees right there in this picture. This would be an amazing set to record this kind of match. WWE could do this really, really well. And of course, with Extreme Rules getting the tagline, the horror show, of course, you're definitely in for a treat. I really think this match is going to exceed all expectations. I think with Bray Wyatt on creative of this, I think horror is going to get a whole new genre. We know Bray Wyatt is personal friends with Tom Savini. He's one of the biggest names when it comes to horror movies. Of course, he creates props and masks. He even created the Fiend replica championship belt. And you know, if Bray's got creative control over this, he's probably roped in a few favours from a few different friends. And we know for a fact that Tom Savini can create absolute gold. And it could be really cool. And another name making an appearance, obviously, here in the creative process of this match is Jeremy Borash. Borash is credited by Broken Matt Hardy that when he was in TNA, he was a big part of putting, of course, that broken universe of Matt Hardy on TV. He can do this stuff, obviously. The Boneyard match itself was a major success. We actually got to see it again on SmackDown, and it was just as good the second time, maybe without the adverts. But it was huge. What a great match. Probably Undertaker's final match. And again, produced by Triple H, the man who will be on set recording and filming. And you can see here, we know from The Last Ride what the backdrop to this really looked like, but yet look how cool it looks on the actual video edit. Now, we know a swamp match actually exists in WWE. It's on 2K20. We did a live stream after SmackDown, the Chill Zone, but if you missed it, I'm sorry. Chill Zones get deleted. But we actually looked around what the actual swamp in the game looked like, and it's really cool. Now, of course, you got Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman in the forefront. I don't think that's going to be it. But look at the creepy trees. It does remind you of the Everglades. You got that dirty ring on like a wooden platform that leads you straight to that big cabin. Now, could that be the cabin where we see Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family for years? Could we possibly see this at Extreme Rules? Of course, if we go inside of it, what's going to be inside? Are we going to see secrets of Bray Wyatt exposed at Extreme Rules? I really think so. I mean, when you look at how intense Braun Strowman's promo was, he was so fired up. He really seemed to let everything back in. And he had these little clips in between, those little snippets that you just don't see really what's going on. And again, it showed Eric Rowan. We've spoken about it many times now, but I genuinely would not be surprised if we see Eric Rowan at Extreme Rules. I think just for a one-time appearance, it's definitely possible, especially if we're going to look back at the past of the Wyatt family. If Eric Rowan is available, hell, WWE have got to use him. It would be a crime. Of course, we saw snippets of the alligators. Braun actually mentioned them, saying he wanted to feed Bray Wyatt to the alligators. Could we literally see an alligator involved in this match? Could we see alligator wrestling? Could we see, like, an alligator actually bite somebody? Like, I know it's crazy, but it's possible. We got a snake. Braun mentioned a snake. We also saw one, actually a snippet of one. So could we see that? Someone actually did comment on my video saying that we could see Bray turn into these things and Braun beat them until Bray finally transforms. I think the snake could be a little bit more important, so it's quite interesting. But I like the fact that when you look at what Bray Wyatt himself actually is, and what Braun called him, he called Bray the Devil. And we know that Bray Wyatt is the Fiend. That kind of makes sense. We all know that the Fiend is a demon. Actually, when you define the word Fiend, the first definition that comes up is devil. Of course, the second one being demon. C, being a person of great wickedness and maliciousness. And 2, a person extremely devoted to a pursuit or hobby. Obviously, his hobby's taking names and kicking ass, because that's all the Fiend ever does. But I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if we see the Fiend in some capacity at Extreme Rules in this Wyatt street fight swamp thing. And when you look at the actual tweet again and you see it's a non-title match, that adds a whole new dimension to the match, because it indicates that Bray Wyatt can win and not become Universal Champion. Of course, if Braun's going to win, it doesn't hurt to put the belt on the line because it's a successful championship retention. But if he's going to lose the match, well, if you don't want to take the belt off him, you don't do it. Now, again, looking at the history of Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman, we travelled all the way back to 2015, the very first time Bray Wyatt introduced us to Braun Strowman. The black sheep of the Wyatt family, Sister Abigail's greatest gift, arrived in WWE to be by Bray's side. Now, what's really interesting here is he introduced Braun to help him against Roman Reigns. Now, could it be possible that we're going to see Braun Strowman recruited to join the Fiend in a future rivalry against Roman Reigns? I kind of like the idea. We know Roman's not around at the moment. It would explain why this story could potentially be being stretched out. I like the idea of history repeating itself. Hell, we've already seen the Fiend take John Cena, and everyone always compares Roman Reigns to John Cena. Maybe that's another thing we could see in the future. John Cena versus Roman, Braun versus Roman, to all eventually lead to the Fiend versus Roman Reigns. We all know Roman Reigns got to be on that hit list, and we saw at Money in the Bank, the whole point of the match, what Bray wanted to accomplish, was to recruit Braun Strowman. So maybe taking him back to the original roots, taking him back to those Wyatt family days, to the swamp where Braun first met the devil himself, Bray Wyatt. Maybe that's enough to convince the black sheep to come home. Maybe that's enough to get Braun Strowman back on side, to join the Fiend. And maybe history does repeat itself. Now, one thing I like is Braun instantly took to Twitter after SmackDown, saying, "One more time, brother, let's go home." I like this a lot, because I don't think he's channeling Hulk Hogan here, but in the sense of Bray Wyatt's story, why couldn't Braun Strowman be the brother of Bray Wyatt? We know he's got some kind of devil inside him. He loved doing the devil's work, and he laughed about it on SmackDown. So could it not be possible that Braun Strowman himself has himself an inner fiend? I like that idea. He is a creation of Sister Abigail, much like Bray Wyatt is. So that could be very, very interesting. It would be a definite twist in the whole Wyatt family story if you said that Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman's were like brothers of Sister Abigail or something. And of course, we've seen this mask before from Bray Wyatt. He tweeted out months ago, and we always said it's an animated drawing. But if we're talking about this, we always said maybe it was like a Dark Huskus. We just mentioned Tom Savini. How do we know that he's not making some kind of horror mask or something, and that this was an animated drawing of that potential mask. And maybe it is a mask for Braun Strowman to join Bray Wyatt. I really think that's interesting. Now, a lot of people are asking if we see the emergence of Sister Abigail. I wouldn't put money on it. But if WWE are going to do it, this could be a perfect time to do it. They're at the Wyatt family swamp compound, whatever you want to call it. Abigail must reside around there somewhere. Possibly we see Abigail. It's definitely possible. I think with cult leader Bray coming back, everything changes. Everything changes. I think we're going to see all different faces of Bray Wyatt throughout the match. I know people have asked me before if this is a one-time thing. I don't think so. We saw Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania, and we didn't really think much of it then. It was just a cool flashback. But now we've had cult leader Bray back on SmackDown. He's back. He's going to wrestle a match. It's something WWE can go back to, and they probably will go back to in the future against Roman Reigns. Randy Orton would be an obvious one. I like the idea. I kind of wish they did it a bit with Daniel Bryan as well. Maybe that story's not over. Maybe cult leader Bray in the future can go after Daniel Bryan again. Maybe it's definitely possible. I am super excited for Extreme Rules this year. The horror show, I think we're going to see so much. I think this match is going to completely blow us away. I want to see so many different references to other horror films. I think that would be a little flashback, little cool little thing for horror fans and stuff. I know a lot of fans would like it. I asked you on Twitter what you thought. At 5 o'clock in the morning, we got 74 votes. 86% are excited for the Swamp match. I actually don't expect anything different. This is huge. This is the return of cult leader Bray. This is the next story, the next chapter in the story of Bray Wyatt. I love that. It's a non-title match that adds a whole new dimension to it. I'm really, really excited. I think we're going to be setting up for SummerSlam, where I think we'll get the Fiend versus Braun Strowman. I cannot wait to see what these two can do in the swamp. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Are you excited for the swamp match? Oh, it's so good to say that. Like the video, it really does help it rank up on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you as always next time. Peace!